Sorry, guys. Give me a minute. Wow. Good morning, Eve, Rhodes, Angie's Life, Deb, Soulshine, Jam 420 points. You are not blocked, Boo. I can see you. It's freezing this morning. Hi, Lake. Good morning. What's everyone up to this morning? What time is it where you're at? Have you already had coffee? Hi, Lou. Almost noon. Damn. 10 a.m. here. 11 a.m. for Lake and Rhodes. Nice. So it's my second born's 21st birthday. So I was up at 5:30 and we did a little decorating. I've got to wash the dishes and wipe down the counters. And then I've got like a chef's box coming with like charcuterie board stuff and birthday cake stuff. So as soon as that gets here, we'll whip the cake together. We got cheesecake and all her favorite kinds of snacks, a giant ass fruit platter. So she's gonna be eating all her favorite goodies. One there, Rhodes. Holy shit. No, 11. Sorry. The chat is so small on my phone. Noon for Deborah, noon for Soulshine. Good morning, Louis. Louise? Or Louis? Louise. That's Louise. It's been a while since I caught one of your lives. I feel like I've missed a ton of stuff. You know, you haven't missed too much with me anyway. I've just really started getting back. I was doing maybe a live a week or every 2 weeks maybe, and been hopping on like Tammy's panel or Ziggy's panel. That's really about it until the last maybe month. I've been hopping on a little bit more, but more so in the last, I don't know, guys, about 2 weeks, I'd say maybe. There she is. Hey, sis. Are you busy right now? Because I can shoot you the link if you're not busy. It's been a hot minute since we've been on panel together because I've been doing all the Fred stuff. Excuse me. Hold on one second. I'm going to shoot Tammy a link in case. My throat hurts. Okay, that didn't boot me out of here, did it? And can everyone hear me okay? I'm on my phone right now, but I can hop on the computer, I suppose, too. Yeah, you know what? I'll do that in a little while. I'll hop on the computer. I'm literally just chilling in bed right now in my bonnet. If you want to see ugly hair, here we go. Chilling in my bonnet in bed to get my frizzy dreads down. As you guys know, I'm going from smoking like about 10 to 12 joints a day to yesterday had one, and just a little bit before going live had one. So literally dropped from about 12 joints a day, 10 to 12 joints per day to 1 per day. And it's rough. I'm going to tell you, it's rough because I did not like YouTube without having a joint. It helped my anxiety so much. But I won't lie to you, I didn't like being foggy, or even when I had like notes and stuff, I was still kind of not. I knew I could be doing better work So yeah. Yep. Hi, Wendy. Deborah, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys are. You can hear very well. Perfect. I will move to the computer in a little while because I've got stuff on my phone when we talk later a little bit about Jack and Lily's case and me reaching out to Daniel again and what he said this time around. So I don't know. I was watching some of Justin's. I got to finish it today and see what he all pulled up in the documents. But Daniel sent me a different channel name that he wants me to check out because he's got all over 300 pages of these documents. So, and Daniel told me he feels like he and Malaya are cleared within these documents. So we will have to see. Oh, for real, Giselle? I don't know if I want to lose any more weight because people already call me sickly. Like I have like iron deficiency. I have deficiencies in everything, but I mean, not only that, I have health issues, right? So people always give me shit for looking like Skeletor. My dark eyes, also anemic and everything. So, which you know, I can't really help that. And I don't love to wear a lot of makeup because when I wear makeup now, like I did all that, but around like 35, I'll doll up every now and then, but all day, every day, I can't do that shit no more. But I used to. Shit, I used to do my makeup before I went to bed, just so in case, I decided to sneak out or something. I don't know. Just always had to make sure I was done up, and that kills your fucking skin, your face. So I just don't wear makeup a lot anymore. So the dark eyes are there, which sucks. But that's life, so don't take medicine, get sick from pills. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. And the THC is probably a lot better, but yeah, I don't want to lose any more weight, Giselle. Fuck that. What would they call me then? Oh, Deborah, that's very sweet. All right, I'm gonna open up my red apple peach little 10 milligram gummy. I'm just gonna turn the camera off. You guys don't need to see this hot mess. Since I put an ugly picture up for y'all to laugh. It's okay, you can laugh at that. Let's share it like 6 in the morning. Look at this shit. I thought I looked like a lion. Like a tired, crabby lion with that hair. That's why I took that pic. I can make full fun of myself. It's cool. I'm 41, alright? If you can't make fun of yourself, I don't know what you're doing in life. It's just at the point where you don't give a fuck what anyone else says about you because you laugh at your damn self all the time. Right? You don't give a fuck. Last day of summer babysitting. Your granddaughter is 9 and 12. School starts Thursday. Oh boy. Back to school, even as an adult, gives me anxiety. There's just something about it. Well, now I think it's because I've got 2 out, but 2 still. And Seth will graduate this year, but then I'll still have 1. So until my kids are out of school, I'm always going to be the school shootings. I mean, let's just keep it real. It gives me anxiety every fucking day of the week. So I hate it. And it bothers me a lot because I know my oldest son has very bad anxiety to the point where he was asking me for bulletproof backpacks and stuff to go to school with. And I thought about it, almost did it. They don't have their backpacks in their classroom. And yeah, but now he's gotten a little bit older and he tells me if that ever happens at his school, he's gonna make sure that he's protecting the girls in the class and the other kids and stuff. And he wants to make sure everyone's safe in there. And then as a mother, I'm like proud of him for having that kind of feeling and emotion. But I'm also like, no, the fuck you don't. you protect yourself because, like, hello, like, I want my son to come home too, you know? Don't do that to me, Seth. But hey, he's got a good heart. It really should be, Louise. I don't like it. So, and you know what? Even when my kids are out of it, it's still going to, any empath is going to still feel and absorb that like a sponge. It's just so fucking sad. We didn't have to worry about that. I was born in 83. I remember being in high school and one school shooting the trench coat mafia thing. So yeah, I remember being afraid of trench coats for a while and being panicked for a while. But that kind of was in and out. We didn't worry back then, you know, about this shit. But now our kids and our grandkids, this has to be a daily fear for them, I imagine, through Monday through Friday. I don't know. I don't like that either. What? Oh, hell no. That better not be true. Are you serious? Yeah, no. Nope. I wish a motherfucker would try and take my kids' phones. Fuck that. All the way off. Mm-mm. Wow. That's true, Lake. Mm-hmm. That is true. Thank you, Deborah. Awesome. Glad you've been enjoying the chats. People seemed, it was a very low key, just a couple of us, like right now, yesterday for the coffee live in the morning. I started it maybe about an hour and a half earlier yesterday, and people seem to have liked it. So I like it. Nice, chill, 50 people over here. Cool. Okay. So what are we up to, chat? Rose, Deborah, what's your guys' plans for today? Thank you, Eve. One of the best mods around. Miss Eve Hickam. Eve Hickam Gorley Diva Girl posts and saying, that is too way big a name. I don't think I just said that right. Eve, girlfriend, we gotta chat. That's way too big a name. Okay. Chill day for sure. Middle of the week, early supper and movies and relax. That sounds nice, Rhodes. That sounds good. Staying home, Deborah. How's the weather where everyone is? It's cold and chilly, but it's supposed to warm up this afternoon. But yeah, we were freezing our asses off last night for sure. At work, waiting for a client. What kind of client? Do you do nails or something? Or are you like a realtor? A client? Who calls it a client? A client. Are you a hairdresser? Wendy, it's your birthday as well. September 3rd is a good day. Happy birthday, Wendy. The golf course for dinner sounds delicious. And I hope you have a blast. 70 in New York. Nice. That's like perfection, I bet. When I go to New York, I want to go around this time because it's like perfect weather. You can walk out in some nice jeans, a nice boot, nice sweater and scarf, and be perfect. It's cold in Minnesota. Yeah, I bet. She turned 18 yesterday. Happy birthday to your daughter. Oh, she's going to have a blast. Good. Your husband works at the golf course? Oh, that's kind of fun. So you get in and have fun for like cheap or free, right? Mm. A slow cook roast like in the crock pot? Yum. Semi-permanent makeup tattoo. So I've been wanting to get my black eyeliner tattooed on, but I'm low-key scared. But I might do like a purple, like a dark purple. I've always wanted that. She's waiting for a shout out. Hold on. What's your daughter's name, Rose? Just a first name. No doxing info, just a first name. All right, I'm gonna get out of my bed. I'm gonna sit at the computer here. What time is it? 10:15. How long have I had my bonnet on? I plugged the heater on in the living room too. It's nicer right here. Yeah, hell yeah. Her name is Laura. That is really cool. Happy 18th birthday, Laura. Hope you have an awesome day and enjoy your vacation. Don't know where you're going, but have an awesome time. Make great memories and happy birthday to you. Ooh, oven and crock pot. All right. Doing the damn thing. Like, I'm coming over because that just sounds so comforting and warm and delicious. You are so welcome, Laura. You said 18, right? Turning 18? 18. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, have lots of fun and be safe, Laura, on your 18th birthday. Definitely don't do anything we wouldn't do. I'm gonna hop on the computer so I can pull my phone up and pull some of the, see if we can pull up some of this, what Daniel was wanting me to look at this channel. Hey, let's do it then. Is anyone excited to see what happens in the long run with the polygraph tests for Andy and Fred? I am excited. I am pumped. Oh my gosh, Wendy. I bet. But I do miss the sound of crickets. We don't have a lot of that here. I do miss that from Minnesota. Oh, awesome. Now I'll make a video for the beautiful children that lost their lives in the Texas flooding. Oh, I honestly don't know much about that. I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh no. Oh no. Ugh. These cases are so hard. Okay. Tammy says if I do coffee live on Thursday morning, she'll join. So we will do that. What day is it? Oh, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. And I'm going on Ziggy's on Saturday night. Trust me, Lou. So I have the questions. The questions are chosen. And they're good. They're good. again, I will tell you, somebody who has been many years in law enforcement, like decades, few more than a couple decades in law enforcement as well as military, the questions are, they're good. They're good. And I am going to be able to tell you a lot more after the tests are done of some stuff that I'm dying to say out loud, but I just cannot do that right now. But just know that if they don't show up, that will speak volumes. I do think Fred will show up. I really do. But let's say if someone doesn't show up, that speaks volumes in my opinion. But I will tell you guys that just from me getting this idea, making the plans, and making the phone calls and networking to make the polygraphs happen, I've learned some new things. And some of the new things come from people that I'm shocked that I've heard them from, very credentialed people. And as well as I'm not 100% sure it should have been even said to me, because one place I called, I did mention I was a YouTuber. And there was another place I called, I didn't bring up YouTubing. What I will say is I ended up calling somebody that's very familiar with the Summer Wells case. And some things were said, and I will tell you, I hung up a few calls feeling anxious, feeling like, what the fuck just happened? What did I just hear? Seems like something kind of big at the same time. When you can't say anything, it's like, is it something? Is it nothing? Like, I just can't wait. But just know that everything happens for a reason. It truly, really does. So, I got the itching all of a sudden out of the blue for these polygraphs, even knowing the past polygraph stuff. And let's just say everything happens for a reason. God put that thought in my mind for a reason, because I heard some thangy things. And I will be sharing with you after polygraphs are taken. I will be able to share everything. And please, best believe, I can't wait to share. Exactly. Yes, that's exactly right. And being patient sometimes, and not just putting everything out on the line publicly off the bat, it's everybody. It's everyone. Because if everyone was like, this is a terrible fucking idea, I wouldn't have probably made the calls and just been like, you guys are right. Scratch that. Let's not. But everyone hyped me up enough. I still feel like this is a great idea. And so I was able to learn some things by calling people. And yeah, and sometimes, again, it's okay to be able to take a step back. There's nothing new happening. Take a step back, take a breather, rest your eyes, your mind, and then pick it up and come back to it. And sometimes little things shake up, y'all. And it sure shit did this time. Oh no. Well, yeah, I bet the flooding is gotta be natural. What are your opinions on the picture I sent you? Can you talk about this one or no? Remind me which pic, because I have looked at 100 different pics people have sent me, and I think, Rhodes, if I'm not mistaken, you sent me a couple. Kerrville, Texas flooding. I will look it up. Marvin and the little girl. Okay. Well, it does look like summer, but I will say it's not a good enough picture to know, or how old were those pictures as well. I'm gonna have to double look, and then we'll, if you want me to do a live around them and pull the pictures up and talk about them, I can plan that too. If you want, we can do that for like a coffee morning tomorrow morning. Because if the morning shows are good for you guys, like I said, we got 5 people or more that want to hang out on the live and have coffee with me. I'll make a live. We don't need 100 people in there. I don't give a shit. It's a much better, more intimate chat anyways. But yeah, I'm not 100%. It does look like some of the older pictures of summer. It really does. I'm going to have Mark run them through, see if he can like kind of enlarge them better without them going, all weird and fuzzy or too pixelated and stuff. Because yeah. Do you know, Rose, when that picture was from? Wasn't he like on a lawnmower or something, or walking around and it looked like her? Awesome. Thank you, Deborah. Good morning, Elva. Is it morning for you? It's good to see you. It's been a hot minute since I seen you in chat, I think. All right, let me. Brr. 4:28 or 10:20, 4:20. What the fuck? 4:20 a.m. in Utah. Nice. Hello from. I want to go to Norway so bad, Stein. Stein. I want to go there so bad. How beautiful is it in Norway? Yeah, let's plan that. And I'll pull pictures up. I'll put them up, make a little video clip so I can pull it up here on the screen. Okay, let's do that. Let me actually, hold on. What the heck? I don't. Can you do me a favor? Would you mind sending me the pictures again? Yeah, would you send me the pictures again? Please, and thank you. I am welcome in Norway. I want to go there. Is it cold in Norway? What is the weather like in Norway? Hold on. Yes. Ooh. Oh my god, it's so pretty there. One of my very first boyfriends was from Sweden, and he would sing this song to me that I had no idea what he was saying. It was the Sweden... What did he used to call it? I don't know. Anyways, he was a skater boy. He had the long blonde hair, and he spoke with in his Swedish language, and now it's soon fall. It's so pretty there. It is. You guys, we got to go to Norway. Oh, and you get really good lights. What are they called again? You know, Northern Lights. Is that what it's? Yeah, Northern Lights. You guys, yeah, I gotta go to Norway. Okay, bucket list trip to Norway. It's a strange language, but it is very pretty. I was obsessed. I remember that. Just a 16-year-old girl hung up on it. I want to see now. Okay, so I texted Daniel Martell yesterday from work. I've been talking to him off and on for months, but he stopped replying to me the end of July. And so yesterday, because some stuff was coming out, and I'm looking at some of it, and I just browsed it, and I'm like, okay, this is not a good look. Like, what the fuck? So I texted Daniel and said, actually, I'll pull them up for you on the screen here. Okay, I said, you are definitely getting arrested, Daniel. Whoever talks first, just remember that. First to talk, first to walk. He texted back 2 hours later after ignoring me for 2 months. Yeah, 2 months. I have no involvement, Chair. In fact, no criminal involvement. The RCMP put forward documents. And I, of course, last night, because I got this text while I was live about Fred's jailhouse calls. So I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense, because I read the things I didn't get from that. So, like, where are these documents? So you feel like you're cleared. He said, I have the real documents. The public does not have over 300 pages. I said, okay, that's true. Fuck. He said, watch DT's show on YouTube. Does anyone know who DT? I gave him all the documents. So he's cleared and Malaya is cleared too. And, I apologize. I'm like, well, shit, I'm the asshole then. If RCMP is clearing you and Malaya, then I'm the asshole. Because I just texted you, like, the exact same way I was talking to Don Wells. You know what I mean? Thank you, Rhodes. So let's see. I wonder, okay. Hey, can you tell me the channel name that has the documents? Because, yeah, I would like to check it out. I'm live now. I was like, well, I'm the asshole. You said DT's show on YouTube. I don't know that channel. Is that what it just is DT's? Does anyone in chat know? Anyways, can you shoot me the link, or at least just the name that I can search it up so I can take a peek? Give me 1 second. I've seen that DT show. I think you're subbed. Okay, what is it? DT Drunk Turkey? Is that can't be real, Wendy? Are you fucking with me? Okay, you're not, because the fam's in here agreeing. All right, give me a minute, man. I gotta take my hormones. Here, I just thought y'all were fucking with me. Trump turkey. My conjugated estrogens. I'm miserable without these in the morning. Let's see. So it's really called Drunk Turkey.
Drunk Turkey.
Okay. That's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. All right, I'm gonna sub up. So has he done a live with it? Did he do video? Okay, so
Hey guys, see this button? I'm in now.
okay. Hi, Taylor. Okay. Now Mark's sub 2. It must be in here. Okay.
To do, just like every other pod.
Over the place tonight. I have the documents and
Looking for nicotine pouches in Canada. More Canadians than ever are getting the pouches they want from Rush Tin.
oh, guys, I mean, there's one thing that I used to talk about in the Brian Koberger case. I would talk about certain things like, all right, well, if law enforcement did this or that, that usually means this is what's going on and this is what happened. And I started to do that. And when I did that in that case, let me go back. When I did that in that case, I had a lot of people who were pro-burgers. They were thought that Brian Koberger was innocent. They would go against me and say all these things and say I didn't know what I was talking about. And so when those things came out to be true, obviously it wasn't because I knew what I was talking about, since that's what they were saying. It had to be because I was psychic. And so that's when I came up with the term Psychic Daniel. And it seems like it might be turning Psychic Daniel might be turning his head up again in this case. A lot of the things that I said, based on the information that I was getting, seem to be accurate about the investigation and what the means and the outcome of that investigation are. Without further ado, let's get into these documents. And we're going to jump around a little bit just so that it makes sense, because it's not in order. And I want to kind of put it a little bit in order, so to speak. And so, but before we start, I just also want to let everybody know. Let's keep it civil. I know not everybody agrees with certain things. I know that there's certain people that think Daniel may have been involved. There's certain folks that think that Malia may have been involved. Certain folks that think both. Certain folks that think neither. You have a right to your opinion. But these documents are pretty clear and obvious. So let's start off. This talks about the person that's writing this document is Jordan Curl, member of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, with the Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit, and applying for an order authorizing a police officer to obtain access to copies of records indicated below, in accordance with Section 6 of the Missing Persons Act, which are required for the investigation being conducted by RCMP Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit into the whereabouts of the missing persons, Jack and Lily Sullivan, missing persons. And I think that so far it's this is a pretty big hint, right? Missing persons. This isn't a criminal investigation yet. I know some people are saying, hey, not everything is back at the time of this document was being released in July, so maybe there's something there now. There could be DNA on the blanket or something. Well, we'll see when that happens. But as of this document, it's a missing person, so it's not anything criminal. Should kind of give us an idea or a hint of what it is.
What does he mean, the blanket, and we'll see? Because I'm sorry, didn't they already say the blanket had nothing, like it wasn't part of the case now? Or am I wrong? I'm wrong. I have to be. What the fuck did I just do? Sorry.
Now, there could be DNA on the blanket or something. Well, we'll see when that happens. But as of this document, it's a missing person, so it's not anything criminal. Should kind of give us an idea or a hint of what it is that law enforcement is thinking happened here. They've mentioned things like no abduction, no criminal offense. That should kind of say a lot, to be honest with you. All right, let's continue. It says identifying information about a missing persons names Lily Sullivan and Jack Sullivan, minors. It says video records. So records required. They required video records, including closed-circuit television footage of cameras at the Quoqued, I forgot how to pronounce that, Quoqued Pass, showing vehicles drivers leaving Nova Scotia from May 1st at 2:25 p.m. to May 3rd at 3 a.m. And this is the time that they were suspicious about. Maybe perhaps if something would have happened. The last proof of life that they have is video surveillance of the kids at 2:25 on May 1st. Goes on to say that the Royal Canadian Mounted Police is conducting an ongoing investigation into the whereabouts of the missing persons, Lily and Jack Sullivan, who were reported missing on May 2nd, 2025 at 10:01 a.m. by their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray. Malaya reported that Lily and Jack left the house, and a lot of this is redacted. And one of the things that I said was probably going to be redacted are things that are personal and unfounded, things that maybe perhaps there's a disagreement on, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's some kind of nefariousness, right? Like, for instance, we're going to hear that Malaya says something about 10 as far as when she thinks that she put the kids to bed. Daniel says, I think it's about 10:30. These guys have been separated.
This is the stuff that, well, this is where Daniel told me to go, but this is the stuff that Daniel says clears him and Malaya then. Okay.
For a long time, they probably weren't looking exactly at their phones when this stuff happened, so they're not going to be 100% accurate with each other because of those things. And it's actually something very favorable for law enforcement. That's a dream. I mean, I keep talking about how the situation here with Daniel Martell and Malaya is a perfect situation for law enforcement. You want to separate them. You don't want them talking. You don't want them getting their story straight. You want them to turn on each other. You want them to blame each other. And when those things start to happen, if there's
Well, Malaya said she thinks Cody Sullivan, their bio dad, picked them up and take them to New Brunswick. But when I texted and asked Daniel if Daniel thought that Cody Sullivan is involved and has the kids, he told me no. So both Malaya and Daniel clearly aren't on the same page with that then, because I have it in text message. Daniel told me no, he didn't think that he was involved with taking the kids.
The crime that occurred, it's relatively easy for the details of those crimes to start to surface up to the top.
Because remember, at the very beginning, I was very, very weary of Cody and Cody's mom, Miss Belinda, because I thought it was weird, and especially when she dropped I drive by that house all the time. I had no idea Jack and Lily were even there, or I would have stopped in and said hi. And I'm like, wait, but they play outside all the time, so there's not one time you drove by where you never saw them outside playing? because she made it sound like all the time, and like I had just driven by earlier on that, whatever she said. And so right away I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And then the other what the fuck in that was how pissed Cody was for the cops to show up. Because remember, Belinda was like, I was wondering what took them so long. Cody was very, very upset at the questions being asked, which I can understand, because maybe you feel like you've been ripped away from your kids, whatever, because you had issues, whatever. So maybe there's some saltiness there. I don't know. But I was a little put off with, like, I don't get, like, why is he so angry? I don't get it. Just answer the questions. Help. Like, these are your kids. Like, don't be angry about it. This is what they've got to do. Be angry if they never came to you to question you, because then you know they're not doing what they're supposed to fucking do. So that made me feel a little fucking weird. But then I started listening to Belinda more and more, and I'm like, okay, well, now I believe Belinda, because she seems genuine to me. But yeah, I got in text messages, Daniel said no, he doesn't think Cody's involved, but Malaya sure as shit does, because this is in the records. The fuck. Yep, I got it. I'm going over it right now. Thank you. Do you think, okay, did I understand a text between us wrong? When I asked you, do you think Cody Sullivan could possibly have been involved in this? Did you, because you said no, but I know we were talking about a couple things and you said a couple things. Do you believe Cody could be involved in this? Because, I mean, at the jump, I was very questionable about Cody and Belinda, because some of the stuff they said was weird. And Belinda said she had driven by a bunch of times and she would have known that the kids were there. She would have swung in there, said hi. But with all the time she drove by, did she really not see the kids? Not one time out there? I don't know. Oh, he's a retired police officer, this guy. Yeah, I can turn my camera off for... There we go. So, yeah, I don't know. Because even just thinking back about it, it was a little weird, right? This guy, so Daniel likes this guy here on this channel. Says he's a rational thinker and also a retired police officer. I had no idea, so I like that he's going through this. And make sure you're subbed up if you're not, because I was unaware of this channel. So Mark and I are both subbed now. DT show. Yeah, so make sure, without my commentary, go over there. This is the channel that Daniel Martell says is a rational thinker, and that Daniel is comfortable with this man going over like all of the documents, because the public, and especially in Canada, a lot of things do get private, so to help with bullying, harassment and such, and using records against people to harass and bully them, stuff like that in Canada. Cody doesn't care about Lily and Jack or his other 2 or 3 kids. He is useless. I didn't know he had like 2 or 3 other kids as well. What the fuck? Wow, I'm sorry. But so it's possible then. Is that what you're saying?
Sherlock Holmes of a detective to figure out and or to accomplish. It's a very simple process.
Could I actually bother any mod to grab the link for me and throw it in the chat? If you would, could you please? And thank you.
I think any detective probably could have handled. I mean, again, we're looking at, some country folks. These aren't, I'm not sure about Daniel's education or things of that nature, but I don't know if he went and, has a degree in IT or any of those things. So you got to also understand who it is you're talking with and those type of things. So, So I digress. All right. This continues to say, oh, that's where I was going with it. So when I said that, like, for instance, Daniel even told me in the documents that there are some things that are blacked out of what he was saying about what he thought that maybe perhaps Malaya may have done, because he has his reasons to believe that Malaya may have had something to do with the disappearance. You know, he goes into the no emotional, how she was not emotional and how she left, and a bunch of other things that made him suspicious of her. Nothing that's really concrete or anything like that. Just more of a suspicion and speculation. But you know, he's got his reasons there, and he's explained those to law enforcement. And one of the things that I noticed in these documents is that what is blanked out is, like I said before, things that are going to be private and unfounded. And I called that beforehand, so Psychic Daniel won for that one. It goes on to say that Jack and Lily were last seen on video surveillance in public at their local Dollarama on May 1st, 2025. Malia later reported to police that she thought Cody Sullivan, Lily and Jack's biological father, might have picked them up and taken them to New Brunswick. Police attended Cody Sullivan's residence on May 3rd at around 2:50 a.m. and spoke with him in person. He denied knowing where the children were and picked them picked them up. He later provided formal statements detailing he did not see them in 2 to 3 years. And so we're going to go into a little bit, like I said.
That's Daniel told me that before too. That it was. Oh, thank you. What is this?
Pumpkin spice.
Can I steal some of that cold foam?
Yeah, there's whipped cream on it.
Oh, thank you. Oh, birthday girl bought me a coffee. How does that work? Thank you. I'm done with that. Thank you. All right, I got a pumpkin spice latte on this chilly day. They are so sweet to me.
We're going to jump around. We're going to look into the beginning aspects, the call. Then we're going to look into what it is that law enforcement actually did, right? And then we're going to go into the statements. And then at the end, we're going to, they talk about what they feel about as far as are the parents involved. And so we got all those things to break down. All right, so the first thing says here, it says on May 2nd, 2025, 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing from their house at 1407 Gairloch Road in Lansdowne, NS, Nova Scotia. Lily was last seen with her mother, Malia, and her stepfather, Daniel Martell, that morning sometime. Now, this is blacked out. Again, I'm assuming this is probably because, again, these guys aren't on speaking terms, and so they may not be 100% accurate when it comes to the time.
That's
you might say,
true.
I heard him at 9 o'clock, and she says, I heard him at 9:10. Well, it's not exactly the same, so they're not going to allow us to see it. So ideally, that's what this is. And it goes on to say, blank, when she came into their bedroom, Jack had not been seen since the night before, but Malia and Daniel had heard him playing in the house that morning during the same time frame. So I think that what this probably means is that there's might be, Malia may not remember seeing Lily come in, and Daniel does, and that's why it's blacked out, because it's not something that is agreed upon both. But both of them say they heard him play, they heard Daniel, they heard Jack playing around the same time frame, and that's not blacked out. So it's just a process of deduction there. An extensive search involved a ground search and rescue, air support, and underwater searches were conducted between May 5th and May 9th, 2025, and again between May 17th and 19th, 2025, but were unsuccessful. So these are some of the things that they took from Daniel and Malia. They took their cell phone and they got their cell phone records. They have been reviewed and are waiting. So the results have been received and they're waiting. They've been reviewed and are waiting for their analysis by an analysis. The other thing was the school bus surveillance for the area of Gairloch Road. Results have been received. A review is in process of those as well. And then something else is blacked out. And this is probably, it's just the delayed disclosure only, but it's most likely something to do with somebody that's somebody else that they don't believe is involved. But you know, they identify a lot of other people, you know, during this document. This, you know, they talk to neighbors and their name aren't redacted. So I'm not sure why this is redacted, but for the records access order of something redacted, and it says the results have been received from redacted, and results have not yet been received from redacted. So this sounds like maybe perhaps records for two people, and from when it was received and when it wasn't. Who those two people are, I'm not sure. And then he goes, the results have been received and are in the process of being reviewed by analysis. So there you go. Why do the cops want you to turn against your spouse? That's crazy. Well, that's if you think that they did something nefarious, Darlene. It's not that they just want to turn you against your spouse. They want to know if something nefarious occurred. And if they're, you know, these, like I said it before, if something happened nefarious here, Janie, Daniel, and Malia would have had to have been involved, because each one of each other corroborate some part of
Bama. Yes, I'm freezing. I've got my headphones on with my hoodie on top of my hair. In someone's case, she's dancing in front of the barrel for sale. And that's true. And Fred was saying that they were advertising for stuff over there. So, I mean, but we kind of already know that. Oh. That sounds fun. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Of their story that morning. Daniel said he saw Lily and heard Jack. Malaya said she heard Jack, and Janie heard the kids outside playing on the swing. And so, you can't say like, oh, well, if Daniel did something and he kept that hidden from the other two, well, the other two heard something. They heard the kids playing. And so they would have had to be involved. So either they're all involved because they cooperated with each other, or it's less likely that none of them are involved. And so when they go into this, they're probably thinking that there's something there. I mean,
Short.
Early red flags that they were there. The kids didn't go to school for a couple of days. It's not like they got the video surveillance that day from the Dollarama. It took some time for that video surveillance to come in. You know what I'm saying? And so early on, and based on what Daniel says in the statement, I believe they were pressing him pretty hard. Especially early on, it sounds like they were pressing him pretty good.
So,
and obviously,
I asked Daniel, like, so does this also clear Cody? And he said, as per the documents, Cody is cleared for not killing them. So everyone's going to be cleared for not killing the kids. So maybe they are alive. If everyone's passing for that. Because here's the thing. Let's say you don't trust in the polygraphs. If we're getting multiple polygraphs and all of them are coming back as passing for not killing Jack and Lily, I mean, what are the odds of that? Not one person getting inconclusive, not one person getting failed. All of them are passing.
they're probably suspect number 1 and 2. They don't find the kids in the woods.
Perhaps I've been a bit of an
They didn't go to school
asshole.
for a couple of days. They don't know about that video for at least a few days. So law enforcement's probably 2 feet up their rear ends, trying to, watching them and making sure and see if anything happens. You know what I'm saying? And so,
All right, Gabby from Vegas, let's go ahead and pack your concentrate orders. So your brownie bag went back in stock today, so you went ahead and got.
Shit.
they're going to try to get those folks to turn on each other. A husband, wife, doesn't matter. If they're suspects, they're going to try to get them to flip. All right. And in this scenario here, it's a perfect dream scenario to have your suspects. And it doesn't have to be husband and wife. It could be, just random burglars that break into houses together, or it could be friends. It could be brothers, sisters. It doesn't have to be husband and wife. If you have multiple suspects that were involved in a crime, you want to separate them, silence them from each other. And then you also want to turn them on each other, get them to talk against each other. And that's what they did here. I mean, I don't think they purposefully did. I don't think law enforcement went in there and had to do anything. It sounds like, to me at least, it sounds like Malaya may have been complaining about Daniel for some time. I don't think she liked the living situation that she had, to be 110% honest with you. And I think she wanted out. I think she was possibly even going to leave Daniel at some point, or at least was contemplating that. And
I think that,
I think that there's a good possibility that she spoke to her
I think
family
that's
about
obvious.
certain things, maybe stretch the truth on certain things, just as she could be justified in leaving another situation, another broken home. Another kids, another
This is true,
without their
Stein.
father, and another kid, Meadow, without her father, like her 2 older kids. And if that's the venture you're going to go in, and that's the route you're going, I can see how a person could start to say certain things just so they can lessen that conversation that family would probably have. Like, hey, I mean, everybody's going to want to help out their kid and talk and things of that nature. And so it just kind of seemed like that may have been what was going on. Like she was contemplating. I don't know if she was certain that she was going to leave. I don't know those things. But it sounds like, based on my conversation with some people that are very close to this, that may have been the case. And, so you want to turn them on each other, and you want to get as much information as possible. And if law enforcement can't find anything with that.
Is there caramel on that? Syrup? I think it got in my hair. Thank you. It's good though. It's very sticky. Thank you. Sorry.
Had and all the all the evidence or all the cooperation that they had, I struggle that they did something and was still cooperative to this extent and still got away with it. It would be it's beyond me on that one.
There we go.
All right, let's continue. And so some of this stuff talks about the police officers who were involved, those type of things. And so it says here, grounds for belief. On May 2nd, 2025, the Pictou County RCMP were dispatched to report of missing children in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia. Well, they reported her children, Jack and Lily, have left the residence and were missing. She said that they were both possibly autistic and were known to wander. She does change that a little bit back and forth, whether or not they were wandering or not, or were known to wander or not. I think in the end, I think what she was trying to say is in certain situations, they were known to wander. In others, not so much. And I don't think she believed that they would be wandering by themselves. She said their boots were gone. Malia reported them missing at 10:01 a.m. And dispatch information reported police arrived at 10:27 a.m. Okay, and so we're going to skip this part here. Now we're going to go to, before we go into the statements, we're going to go into what it is that law enforcement did. So on May 2nd and May 14th, statements were obtained by Brian Ward, Lily and Jack's school bus driver. Lily and Jack were at school on Tuesday when stepfather Daniel took them off of the school bus at 2:42 p.m. There was no school on Wednesday, and they were not at school on Thursday and Friday. It was normal routine for Malaya or Daniel to take the kids off the bus because Jack was buckled in and they needed to unbuckle, and drivers were not allowed to do it. And so they talked to him. He had some surveillance and video. He was able to pull his surveillance and video from that morning for that area. He found out about Lily and Jack were missing from his daughters and went to go help in the search on Friday and over the weekend. Then they spoke with Nancy Gallant, Jack and Lily's teacher. She basically said that she'd never met Malaya, but that when she did speak with her, she was polite in conversation. So I'm assuming this was like over email and phone call.
She never met Malaya, so does that mean Daniel was the one bringing them to the school and everything? Or no, they took the bus to the school.
He goes on, Nancy, to say that they, meaning Lily and Jack, were both marked absent by Malaya on Thursday and Friday of the week.
Are you?
So it was because they both were feeling sick. And this is going to be a common thing. I know that some folks were kind of pointing out that at certain points we were finding out that it was, or the media may have reported it was one. Well, media reported something that was inaccurate. According to the documents, in several situations, whether or in all conversations, and according to the school there, it was both. Both were sick. So take that for what it is. It goes on to say, May 5th, they took a statement from Patty Pearson, Malaya's grandmother. Patty said that she saw them when they all came to visit. She was not sure of the date, but it was early in the week, 1 or 2 weeks before. They came over. Daniel stayed in the car, and Malaya did laundry. To do laundry is a significant amount of time, right? It's not something that you go in, hop something in the washer, 10 minutes later, it's in the dryer, 5 minutes after that, you're on your way. Now, you're there for a good minute doing the washing and the drying. And you're also there with family, so this is going to take a while. Daniel was there, and he was in the car. Now, what some people might look at that in a couple of different ways. What I think about that is that
Listen, ladies, okay, I've been in 2 relationships where I just did not so you guys know my family history. When I get around people and they're like with their big family doing their family things, it makes me feel a little like uneasy and weird because it's not something it's just not. So there's been 2 different relationships I've had in my life where I just didn't like feel actually like totally comfortable in like celebrating holidays, especially, and then with their big family all being family, whatever, if that makes sense. But anyways, there's times where I would fucking sit in the car and be happily scrolling on the phone, or even like just in another room away from anyone, just letting him enjoy his family or whatever, and I'd be hanging out, it's just, I don't know. It's so like I can kind of get that, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, if he's sitting out in his car, I could easily sit in a car. I've gone to when Mark's had jobs and he has like long drives out of town, he likes the company for like the 3-hour, 4-hour round trips sometimes. So I'll go with, and I'll sit in the fucking truck for 2 hours scrolling the YouTube streets and everything like that. So, I mean, I could see that.
With some real hostility there between Daniel and Malaya's family already. Which doesn't, when the kids go missing, it only makes sense that they're going to start to blame each other as well. And then that's what's happened. But you can see that even before,
right, short circuit,
there appears to be some pretty bad hostility there.
We're on a mission to give 2 million people all around
Hi,
the world
Pat.
clean water. This village in Malawi.
All right, so let's continue. Patty says she spoke with Malaya almost every day. On the 8th, they spoke with Ron McKenzie. This is Janie's brother. He said the following, that Ron spoke with his sister at 8:48 a.m. to see if she wanted to go to town with him. Said Janie said no. He said he called Janie again at 10:19 a.m. and she told him Jack and Lily were missing. He went to Janie's place for a few minutes. After that, they went to a neighbor's to tell them what was going on. He went to town with his mother after that and came back around 1:30 p.m. He got word he could go into the woods when he came back, so he searched for a while. All right, so then it goes on to talk to Edmund Dixon, who saw Daniel, Malaya, and the kids at the Dollarama on May 1st, 2025. And so it says here that Ed Dixon said he worked with Daniel at the mill, I'm assuming, and saw him at the Dollarama parking lot between 11:30 and 12:30 a.m. on May 1st. Well, they should have put 11:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. because it makes it seem kind of weird. But I'm assuming it's 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. On May 1st. They had conversated for about 5 minutes and discussed enjoying their time off. He saw Daniel's girlfriend and their baby. He saw other people inside the vehicle and heard children's voices, but did not see who they actually was in the back seat. So this is when they're trying to corroborate, their testimony as far as what Daniel and Malaya said that they've been doing leading up to that time frame. Because remember, all they knew at this point was the kids didn't go to school because they were sick, supposedly.
Right.
On May 9th, there was a conversation with somebody that's redacted, and a lot of that was redacted. So again, it's probably personal information and unfounded information for it to be redacted to this extent. All right. So on May 13th,
Or could it just be something that, is still a part of the investigation they don't want out yet, maybe? Or no? Or it's just not sufficient evidence, so they don't want to put it out there. Is that what he's meaning?
there was a statement from Cindy Murray, Malaya's mother.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes on to say that on May 2nd, there was a blank. And the message from Malaya saying the kids are missing.
Remember, Malaya's mother allegedly told Derwin that Malaya's going to have to pay for what she did to the kids. Remember, she said, that's what Derwood said, right?
The police were there. Cindy said she learned from her mother that the kids were missing because she left her phone in the house when she was in the barn, which was why she missed Malaya's call. She said she did not know what time her mother called to let her know. Goes on to say that they talked to Chance, Daniel's friend Chance, and Daniel called him on Friday night. Sorry about that. Chance said that Daniel called him on Friday night to tell him that the kids were missing and asked if he would help with the search. Chance and Daniel and their friend Adam went out and searched on Saturday. And I think these are the guys who had like a dark colored SUV. You know what I'm saying? I think these were possibly them. They interviewed a neighbor, but the neighbor, his name was Justin. He says he didn't know the kids were missing, and he didn't know who they were. So they ended up doing some ground and search and rescue, GSAR. And this was done May 2nd through the 7th, so 5 days, performing a comprehensive search of the area where Jack and Lily went missing. I don't really think that's a long time, guys, to be honest with you. 5 days, with how dense those woods are, you would need so many volunteers to be able to adequately search it for that amount of time.
Right.
That amount of space, adequately. Because there are places where you can see them walking, and if there's like a few yards between them, you're missing a lot. And 5 days and that amount of space and stuff, I don't know. It's extremely dense. You know, think about, I know Brian Laundrie, his situation had a flood in the middle of it, but they were out there for a few days before, and the waters receded for some time afterwards, and they struggled to find him, and they had a huge search too. Huge search. And they actually, you know, his parents actually told him where he was going to be at, and they ended up, his parents go out there and find him in the exact spot. And so, just food for thought. I mean, yeah, I don't think that, and I think that terrain was pretty bad, you know, especially when the water got up a little bit and stuff like that. But, you know, these woods out here are pretty dense too, you know. It may not be full of water, but I mean, it seems like there was just more packed in compared to what was out there in the swamp area. There was more open spaces. This seems like super dense. And if you know, for 5 days, I don't know if that's enough. Goes on to say Amy Hansen was the search manager for the search of the area where Jack and Lily went missing. Oh, by the way, guys, I have been involved in searches for missing kids. Some that resulted positive, a few that didn't, a few that, you know, we couldn't find somebody for a while. You know, those things, you know, when those things happen, when searches like that happen, we go out there pretty quick. And, you know, we had one situation where, you know, we had a kid who went missing. We found the avenue to figure it out, to see if there's something they lied about, to see if there's something they're being dishonest, to see if there's an inconsistency that's a major inconsistency.
May 23rd, 2025, had a conversation about video surveillance. Said he is the site.
Not an inconsistency of time, because obviously these two people are separated, and it's not like people have their phones. You know, when a situation like this is going on, and okay, it's 10:25 and 34 seconds right now. I'm going to monitor my time second by second so that I can document it later for law enforcement while the kids are missing. That's not how it works, right? And so let's continue.
Do you remember too that they were wanting videos from like several weeks prior or something to them going missing, and for like a 5-mile radius. Do you guys remember that? And we were all like, well, why are they doing that? Right? And maybe to, and Huh? I had some. Okay. Thank you though. So I asked Daniel, has the law basically just been leaving him alone now? He said, yep, I go to them after he sees his daughter. Maybe he's right.
So they did the surveillance, and then they go to they did the time frame of April 27th through May 3rd. So they went back like a few days to make sure to see, one, is there a change in habits? Is there somebody that's driving around in the area, looking around in the area?
So a couple days only.
So they're really crossing their T's and dotting their I's.
How long before I see results with Tai Chi?
Day 3, you'll feel your energy. Day 7, your eyes will change. Day 28, you will become unrecognizable.
3 reasons to start Tai Chi workout this summer.
All right. Vehicles in those residents were also being logged for later comparison if required. And so that's the other thing too. And this is what I was trying to say when it comes to if somebody committed this crime. Like if somebody let me rephrase this. If somebody committed a crime against these children, you're looking for somebody who is going to blend in with all of these things, who's is not going to be weird that his vehicle's being seen for later comparison, whose phone isn't going to be weird being in that area because it's connected to a tower. So you're looking for people that are uncooperative and somebody who maybe perhaps has a criminal record and some other things, some things that I talked about earlier about a specific person. I've named them because I have no proof whatsoever. I just know a few things that are kind of suspicious that they possibly have done. And so, you know, with that being said, that's the kind of person you would have to look for, is they would have to be able to navigate between these defenses. That's why I think it's either somebody that's very close or they possibly just wandered off, you know, at this point. Applications for sealing order to protect information pursuant to, let's see. This matter involves two missing minors who are subject to this application. I believe it is the best interest of the investigation and the administration to just protect the integrity of an ongoing investigation. There are still investigative avenues remaining within this investigation, and an investigation may progress into a criminal investigation should the elements of a criminal offense be identified. So what that means is that it could go into a criminal investigation if anything criminal would come up, and which also means at this point they don't have anything criminal, like a criminal behavior or criminal incident. Due to this reason alone, I request the application together and the supporting information to be sealed from the public and any persons claiming any interest. There is actually no authority to protect information within the Missing Persons Act of Nova Scotia. All right. Now, let's go back up to the what they said. So now that we kind of get an idea of what it is law enforcement did that day and around that time, now let's go back up to what was said.
They were looking for trail cameras too. Yep. I heard that too. Yep.
So right here. So Malaya provided 4 statements to police. 2 statements were provided on May 2nd and 1 on May 3rd and 1 on May 4th. And the following is a summary. She said on the day that Jack and Lily went missing, she heard them playing in the other room and was going in and out of sleep. Lily came into her room around blank a couple of times. Again, they weren't sure. And so this is why it's probably redacted because it's unfounded and unknown. And Daniel was sleeping the whole time and didn't really wake up. She didn't hear them anymore around blank. So she got up and they couldn't find them. So they called 911. The police came and got statements. Everyone was frantically searching for them. Malaya did not think this would take days. Malaya discussed what had happened earlier in the week with law enforcement. She said she kept them home on Thursday and Friday from school. Malaya said she doesn't remember what they did on Wednesday specifically. She gave a detailed description of what happened on Thursday. Malaya kept Lily and Jack home from school on Thursday morning because they had a cough. She contacted the school through an app at 6:18 a.m. So she said even here that she reported that both of them were sick and that's why they stayed home from school. And this is on the first statement on May 2nd. So it's pretty consistent. She had blank in Newcastle in the afternoon on Thursday, and she and Daniel went with all the kids. They drove her 2017 white Nissan Pathfinder. And so this is them going. She talks a little bit about their day, you know, on Wednesday and stuff. There's really not much of importance there. And also on Thursday, because in the evening she was going to go do some cleaning, but she was too tired. The kids were watching a TV show, so she put Lily and Jack to bed first, then Meadow, then went to bed herself. Malaya said they were late to getting bed that night and went around 9 p.m. They usually go around 7 p.m. Lily was wearing a pink sweater and pink pajamas with white shapes and a barb. What was that? Was that my phone? I don't know. That was pretty weird. Something said I don't have an answer for that. Let's see. Lily was wearing a pink sweater, pink pajamas. Her hair was shoulder length and her backpack was beside her. So I know that that's another point of interest was the backpack was beside her. She went to bed with the backpack. Kids go to bed with weird things. They do. Jack was wearing black sweatpants and a t-shirt with a diaper as he was only partially trained. Daniel stayed up. He said he was going to clean the house for her, but it wasn't clean when she got up, so she doesn't know what he did. Normally, he did little projects around the house at night and fix things. Malia says she was not woken up throughout the night, and she does not know when Daniel came to bed. On Friday morning, Malia's alarm went off at 6 and another one at 6:15, which is when she used the school app to mark them sick for the day. Now, I believe that she marked them sick because she was tired, and they went to sleep late the night before, and she didn't want to get up. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Because she didn't go check on them to see if they were still sick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Malia then went back to sleep. Daniel and Meadow were still sleeping, and there was no other noise in the house. Malia heard the kids playing in the bedroom around blank. They woke Meadow up, so she took her into the bed and turned the TV on for them and faded in and out of sleep. The kids were giggling and laughing and talking to each other. The kids were in their room right next to theirs, so they were quite loud. Around blank, she heard silence and told Daniel she didn't hear the kids. They got up together and checked the living room, and outside they started yelling for them. When they didn't hear any answer, she called 911 at 10 a.m. She had to turn off the Wi-Fi to get the bars of cell service and call from one spot in the house where the service was good. Daniel walked around yelling for them to see if he would get a reply, and eventually took her Pathfinder to go out and look for them in the woods. Jenny was also looking out for them. She had the baby, so she could not go out and look. Lynn said that she did not think the kids had changed their clothes from the night before, and Lily's backpack was gone, so she assumed she had it with her. She described it as a cream-colored backpack with strawberries on it. Lily and Jack's boots were gone. Lily was wearing size 13 rainbow pink boots, and Jack was wearing size 10 blue dinosaurs boots. But that ended up being somewhat mistaken, right? It wasn't really the right size. She was actually wearing 11. But little details like this, that doesn't mean something nefarious happened. It just means that, these guys kind of give you an idea of their state of mind, so to speak, during this time. They're answering questions under duress. You can't expect 100% accuracy in those moments. That's why you ask the questions multiple times and see if there's any true inconsistency, like a really big one, or also to kind of narrow things down to calm them down so that we can get the truth out. You know what I'm saying? It goes on to say she also clarified their sleeping arrangements. Meadow, Daniel, and Malia shared a room. Lily and Jack also shared a room, but it was divided in two because they would be up all hours of the night. Malia said that Lily and Jack did not have a relationship with their biological father, which we already knew.
It's fine. It happens to most guys.
She goes on saying that her and Daniel have been together for 3 years. Daniel worked every Monday at blank at hardwood sawmill. They were having a hard time getting wood in, so he only worked 1 day a week. She said he was an involved parent and would help her, especially when she was overwhelmed. He was not aggressive with the kids, but had a voice they would listen to. There was never any physical discipline. They discussed what happened earlier today, and a lot of this is redacted. So a lot of this is probably just her thoughts about Daniel and things that probably cannot be.
Well, I don't know. Do they go over the CPS stuff in this then? Because what CPS is involvement? Hey, do these documents go over at all the CPS being involved? How many times was CPS involved? But are these gonna go through that at all?
Proven one way or another, if you want to put it that way. They discussed what happened earlier that day. Malia said she went to the police command post to see what was happening firsthand, and blank. She said there's currently a lot of conflict between her and Daniel's side of the family. She provided the following information. Daniel's family wanted her to bring the baby and stay with them, but she thought the correct decision was to stay with her mother. Daniel pulled her aside and tried to convince her to stay, but she told him she was going to go with her mother. So, but here's the thing.
Okay, I'm going to leave it alone.
A lot of conflict with Daniel's side of the family between her. This is what you want. This is exactly law enforcement's, dream right there, scenario. She did not know any of the conflicts in the family's lives that would have caused the children to go missing. So even though they're...
So she for sure didn't think that they were anywhere around that spot then, right? Because, what mother is leaving... And I get there was other stuff going on, and it would be hard to live under that roof, but you were already doing it knowingly for years prior. What's another, few more days? I don't know. Perhaps I'm wrong in saying this, but I just, you as a mother that loves your kids... then you definitely know they're not about to walk back into that trailer then if you're packing up and leaving, correct? Or I'm just to believe she just does not give a shit about Jack and Lily. Because when I talk to Daniel, sure doesn't seem like... First of all, she's not even speaking out about the kids. And it sure doesn't seem like she's trying to be involved with Meadow and... So, like, I don't know. Yeah. Right? It's a little fucking weird. Like, who does that? And the only way I'm doing that is if, like, perhaps maybe she was at risk of harm. Maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It would take an awful lot of something real, like, fucking disturbing to make me leave the site that my kids went missing. Not just even one kid, but 2 of my 3 kids are poof disappeared from this spot. I'm not packing my shit and going to mom's house. Are you kidding me? You're missing 2/3 of your kids, girlfriend, from that very spot you're running away from. Yeah, there's a problem there. Right? Does there not have to be? Because I don't know. It's a nice little mellow chat. I'm going to put the link for panel up. Let's take a peeky peek here at, I want to, what the fuck's
It's Friday, August 22nd. This is CTV at 6. Here's what's making news tonight. The lengthy history of a maritime doctor charged with assaulting a patient. Aaron hurdles high waves toward maritime. Good Friday evening. Today we received a slew of documents connected to the investigation into the missing Sullivan children in Pictou County. 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack vanished more than 3 months ago. Hundreds of pages of just released court documents shed light on what police discovered. CTV late anchor Bruce Frisco has been pouring through it all and joins us with more in the news center. Bruce.
Well, Todd, the information, as you say, is contained in court applications filed by investigators for permission to conduct searches for things like phone records, banking records, video related to the case. This is all standard procedure. We're told a lot of the documents are heavily redacted, look just like this, a lot of stuff censored out, but they do include unproven statements made by police, their impressions on what they found. So some basic facts. The children reported missing first at 10 a.m. on May the 2nd from their home in Lansdowne Station by their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray. Police were at the trailer at 10:27 that day. She told the cops she believed the children had wandered away from home, but the exact time for that is redacted. Lie detector tests were administered to the mother and the stepfather on May the 12th, and both passed. An officer noted, quote, at this point in the investigation, Jack and Lily's disappearance is not believed to be criminal in nature. More polygraphs were administered in June to the children's biological father, and he passed. But when police attempted the same test on the children's step-grandmother, they found the test ineffective. I'm quoting again. Her physiology was not suitable for analysis, and an opinion on the polygraph examination was not rendered, end quote. The doctor.
Okay, hold up, wait a minute, Daniel. You pass, Cody pass, Malaya pass, but your mom Is it your mom? Your mom's test was like not clear or inconclusive or something? What the fuck is going on with that?
Documents also confirm children's step. More Jack and Lily's disappearance is not believed to be criminal in nature. More polygraphs were administered in June to the children's biological father, and he passed. But when police attempted the same test on the children's step-grandmother, they found the test ineffective. I'm quoting again. Her physiology was not suitable for analysis, and an
Oh, I dropped the link for whoever would like to join me on panel. It's just a nice, mellow little chit-chat. Not very many people in here. So if anyone wants to grab the link and come up on panel and chit-chat, you can turn your camera off and change your display name to whatever. Or not, that's okay too.
opinion on the polygraph examination was not rendered, end quote. The documents also confirmed police found Lily's blanket about 1 kilometer away from the house a day after the disappearance, but a sniffer dog couldn't pick up any scents around it. A couple of days later, police found a piece of the same blanket in the garbage at the end of the driveway. Now, perhaps the most compelling piece of evidence came from a woman named Natasha Hayward, who told police she saw two children walking along the side of the road on May 2nd.
Scratch that. I'm gonna end this one in probably like, well, after this clip here and a few things, so I might come back up, Taylor. But I gotta get a birthday cake made.
They were holding hands, she said, at the end of the driveway. The explanation was not rendered, end quote. The documents also confirmed police found Lily's blanket about 1 kilometer away from the house a day after the disappearance, but a sniffer dog couldn't pick up any scents around it. A couple of days later, police found a piece of the same blanket in the garbage at the end of the driveway. Now, perhaps the most compelling piece of evidence came from a woman named Natasha Hayward, who told police she saw two children walking along the side of the road on May 2nd. They were holding hands, she said. She said the boy had dirty blonde hair, was wearing shorts. The girl had darkish hair in pigtails. She was wearing a tank top with blue strings. She said the children were walking toward a white female, 50 or 60 years old, who was waiting next to an older model tan or gray or gold sedan, and the back door was open. She later described the children as older than Jack and Lily, and as far as we know, police have yet been able to corroborate what she allegedly saw on the road.
What?
This game, you're not ready for it.
That day, Todd.
A lot of information. We don't seem to be getting much closer, though, Bruce. Thank you for that, starting us off this Friday in the News Center. And, of course, Bruce will have your late news at 11:30.
So what the fuck? I left Daniel a voice memo. I hope he gets back to me, because what the fuck is it? What? I know a little bit, not enough. I know more for America than Canadian laws, so I've got to definitely, yeah, I should look into I'm sure every province is just like every state is different, but yeah, I definitely know a lot more about American laws and stuff since I was in the States for 24 years, so this is very interesting. We're gonna have to go through these documents like with a more serious of a study session and stuff, and I'm gonna need a party panel, I believe. What do you guys think? It's been a while since we've had a party panel. I think I'm gonna try and get a party panel going to go over these. As you know, the party panels are nice because we all think so freaking differently, and it makes for a really good conversation. Wow. I don't know what to think. Well, obviously I'm going to continue talking to Daniel. Yeah. So I'm going to get off of here. I know I seen it, and yes, but not right this second. I'm going to get off of here, but I'm going to come back on at some point today. And I'm going to see if I can't plan a party panel, but I got to go make a birthday cake and wash dishes, get the kitchen clean and everything. So that in a couple hours, I got a bunch of stuff to make a charcuterie board and all her favorite snacks and everything for her birthday. So I do got to hop off of here for a while and just be... But yes, yes, Taylor, you're more than welcome to join. I like these coffee chats, these little impromptu coffee chats. I will look into that, Miss Benson. I will. Perhaps we should do a Canadian type law study session live. Even. What do you think? You're so pretty. Hold on, you guys, look at that. Can't roll the picture up on here. What a beautiful family voices is. Oh yeah, I can't blow it up on here either. Well, anyways, beautiful. All right, y'all. I will see you, I think, in a couple hours. If you don't see me today, you will for sure see me tomorrow morning for another coffee live, okay? For certain. And then I'm going to be Saturday night, 8 p.m. my time, which I think is Mountain Time. Yeah, 8 p.m. Mountain Time on with Ziggy and Fred on Ziggy's channel Saturday night. So remember that. And then, yeah, I'm going to try and hop on again sometime today, okay? So enjoy your mornings, your afternoons, your early evenings, wherever you may be. And I will talk soon. Thanks for hanging. I'll see you guys in the morning for damn sure. Bye. Have a great day, you guys.